control initialized.
Hello there, comrades and cannon fodder. It's Dvoid here. I've got a 1v1 on Kosovo map for you. I'm using Russia, my opponent's using Ukraine. And I'd had a couple of games against this opponent before this point, before I had fought this battle. The first game, you know, I was surprised. It was a good game. I wasn't expecting it because I didn't know the player's name and the map they'd chosen. You know, it was like an old map and that. So I didn't know what to expect, but I was surprised. It ended up being a good game. And the second game, I lost my connection right after the start, and I was doing really well, and it turns out my opponent said that he'd messed up the build order as well. So basically, I should have had that one. It was my own fault. My connection went down because my skybox timed out and went into standby mode. I forgot about it, so I lost my connection. But this is the third game we had. So and this one I think is if it's not the only one I show, it should at least be the first. You know, that's what I was trying to say. But this is the oil capture, early phase. Both got our engineers out. I've just got one oil. My opponent's ahead of me on that. Just disable the shroud. I've sped it up a little bit. Excuse me. I'm just taking my opponent's oil back away from them. They've got one here, but they're going straight for the corner oil as well. That's a good oil to get. It's out of the way. And this game is a good example. I won't say why just yet, but this game is a good example of why that's a good oil derrick to capture as early as possible and keep hold of it. Looks like I've gained control of the field for now. I've got two each in oil derricks, but I'm going for the centre oil derrick, the contestable one. But my opponent's hunting for the engineer lock. He knows what he's doing. Now he'll be able to see this because he's got view range from this oil derrick, so he'll wait. And then he's got the snipe. That was reckless of me to do that. I've just wasted my engineer. So I destroy the central oil derrick, at least take it away from them. That leaves them with one oil derrick. And me with two at the moment. They're in a position to immediately strike back there. Oh dear, look. There's an engineer, but I don't think I was paying attention. No, I wasn't. I could have killed him, look. I could have got that engineer. I was obviously busy doing something else, and now it's too late. That's a shame, that. I lost an oil derrick. That's what those rifle guards are stood there for. To catch reckless engineers. Oh well. Yeah, this is what I must have been doing, hunting the enemy engineer, and he's escaped me. I moved around here looking for him, and he's got away, look. They've got two of them. Two engineers. Let's have a look at the early army values, 9 to 6, so I'm doing okay at this point. Sending out some rifle scouts, look. Sending them out in pairs wouldn't have helped here, look, he ran straight into a load of them. But I am sending them in, like, pairs as best I can. See, they'll kill this single rifleman. See, you know, it's always better 2 or 3 rifles. He's done the same there, look, though, so maybe he heard me. Let's have a look at the economy. While it's quiet, I'm hard up for cash and my opponent's not. We're equal on all trucks. I'm setting up this forward central expansion, and then soon after I'll be moving here. I always do that on this map. Get these close areas, expand to these close ore patches as soon as I can, and then get the build radius so it covers the area as well as I can. I'm getting a grand drop set up there. Let's have a look at the army values, 17 to 13. So I'm moving out now. I've got my grand drop and I've got my vehicles. He's seen me. Let's see what he does. My lead is 3 grand lead. Trying to bring units up. My opponent's done well with his rifle guards, look, they're everywhere. He knows exactly where my... well, I've got one there, but, you know, if I was to advance, he'll know. So he's done well, and here we go, the initial engagement. My tanks are out of position, but I managed to save the APC. My opponent hasn't got tanks. I've killed them all. But he definitely got the better end of that engagement. I've had to fall back and retreat, although I am still using this Grendrop. I'm going to have to respond to that somehow, so this is something. Oh look, I missed the engineer. But I always put this APC with Grenadiers on move command. I always say don't use move command. But in the case of the APC, you don't want him to stop if he sees a bunch of rocket troops. Like here, if I move the APC along this way, I don't want him on attack move, because he'll stop. And these guys, he'll stop and attack these guys, these rocket troops, and they'll kill it. So use move command and he'll drive past. Here we go, my enemy's attacking. And he's ahead by a few grand now. Yeah. Comfortable. He needs to back off as soon as possible. Heating the greens up. Heaty greens. There we go. Now there's the a rifleman scouting. There's the Grendrop. That'll draw his attention here, but hopefully not by much. And hopefully he's not looking at that. Oh yeah, it is. But what can he do? Let's look. There's the first power plant. And the... oh, did they get it? Just. Yeah, he's in low power. But I lost my APC as well. Let's have a look. He's had to cancel his production order and place a power plant. He's okay now. So he's back on refineries again. There was a slight interruption, a bit of low power. After that, let's look at the army values. He's ahead a couple of grand again. So it's not too bad. I did mess up that first engagement quite badly. So considering that, I've managed to hold him off okay, and there's only about a grand between us. 19, 20, 21, but it's nearly, yeah, there is a bit of a gap, a couple of grand. It's fluctuating, but I'm still expanding. I've sent that MCV, and I haven't got my rifle guards now. This is my first warning of an enemy attack, and I can see a decent sized base. There's the enemy engineer, look. I kind of got lucky that he didn't take that. But yeah, I see it moving over here, and I'm rallying what forces I can to stop them. Stop their advance. While still, I'm thinking, well, that's moving behind them. So they're not likely to think I'm going to put that there now. You know? That was my thinking in continuing this guy and setting him up here. I thought, well, if I'm moving behind where they've just advanced, then they're not, like I say, they're not going to imagine I put it there so soon. Or I'm hoping so, but here we are. I've got an adequate defence, and I was ready in case he tried to run away. And now I think I sent some units away knowing I don't need them. Here we go, no problems, all sorted. Burning them, heating the greens. There we go. Some mass harvesting, sometimes I end up doing that. And we've got an attack down the centre, so these guys can respond. These guys, I should have sent them on an attack. If I had, I'd probably have wiped this out, but we'll see what happens over there later. But I've moved my ore truck. I've obviously saved that from somewhere. But here we go. I should have set these up better. And this turns out to be a running battle. I should have prepared them still for a defence. Look, he's got an attack in the perfect place. I think I'll lose the majority of my ore trucks. I've got 6, that's not good. Got an engineer. Now I've got 5 ore trucks, soon to be 4, 3, 2, 1. Very soon, so I've got 0 cash. So now this advantage, let's have a look, army value, yeah, at this advantage I've got now, I'm basically wasting as we speak. But the economy, my opponent's got loads of cash, and now let's see what happens with these guys. Obviously I'm struggling for cash, and there we go, that was a nice over 6 grand haul, that one. There's another, about a 3 grand haul. And now I know I'm under attack. I'm doing my best to deal with it, while also pressing on. I should have won here. I should have won at this point. I'm doing extremely well. I'm still expanding, look there. I'm trying to move that away with the base defence, but never mind. Yeah, I've got one of my construction yards under attack, and they're not protecting it. That was, you know, that was a big mistake. I needed that. I'm sending all the units I can up here to destroy my enemy base. I defended that one at least. They're in low power. I am now as well. Finally sending some forces back to defend what I've got here. What I'm not replacing my lost infrastructure, my economy. Got no ore trucks. And I'm in low power, they're not now. That got away. So the cash, my opponent's got plenty. I'm struggling. Let's see if I've got army value. I'm slightly ahead. Let's see if we've got thieves. Yeah, we've got one. Sometimes I was switching. There it is. Yeah, sometimes I was switching primary production. Look, I can't believe I lost a war factory to that. Oh, it's such a shame. I was really messing this up, thinking that I'd won, and you know. Let's keep a track on the army belt. There's another earning. There's another few grand. Yeah, that was a nice amount. But our army values, I'm still slightly ahead. And hopefully get another infiltration. Yes, just in time. So now I'm ahead of the enemy. I've got yaks, and I've got an equal army. Let's have a look. I should perhaps have consolidated at this point. But I just didn't want to give him a chance because, to be fair, I think he was the better player. I just think, I don't know the player's name, and I don't know if I know him by another name, and I've fought him before and know him, but as far as I know, it's a player that's new to me. Look, I'm wasting units here. As far as I know, it's a player that's new to me. Look at that, I should have carried on. I could have microed the enemy and finished it. I just didn't know. I was worried about these. I ran away, look. I could have killed them. And then, yeah, I did make a stand. There we go. And my yaks attacked them from the back. There we go. Slightly ahead in army value now, but they've got these guys here. That's a nice little force because it can move around quickly and kill infantry and squash infantry and kill tanks. So, you know, it's a nice little force, a nice mobile force, and we're equal in army value, except I've got these two planes, so I've got a smaller army, and he's spreading his force out in little groups, look. Here, like I say, they killed the war factory. So they've done their job already, and now they're going to snipe what the only ore truck I've got. I've got two, so now they're going to kill that one. And I've got another ore truck here. I'm run out of cash again, but my opponent is also short of cash. Shooting the wrong guys. I should shoot the rocket guy. There you go. I'll let those planes. He got away at least. And now I've got another thief there, but there's no money in the enemy refinery at this point. Eventually, I think I see and get rid of the tank. Get rid of that enemy tank. And now I'm being defeated and pushed back by the enemy's forces. Small groups of infantry can be run over by these APCs, so he's got a good little force. He's done well. I've got 5 heavy tanks, so I've got a little advantage there. But now we're both out of cash. It's going to come down to the player that's got the coolest head and who's got the skills. And like I say, I'm a bit rusty, a bit out of practice, and he's got no money to steal. So he's got 8 ore trucks, so he can soon get his economy up and running. I can't, you know, I'm losing it, sadly. And this is like only 18 minutes in, so I'm starting to, my skills are being strained. Look, I've dropped paratroops on them there, they're wasted. But it got my MCV out of there alive, at least. And at this point, yeah, there's a small force that I had there, look, and I've wasted it. Why did I go back? That was strange. Misclick, perhaps. But yeah, being overrun here. This MCV being set up there, that's just, you know, what am I going to do? I thought, should I send it around the edge of the map? But it's out of action at a point where I can't have it out of action. At least I can build something, place a power plant, so that I can keep my other structures up and running. But I'm just got no cash. We've both got 0, but let's have a look at the army value. Now we're both on 0. Yeah, he's got more than double. So that's it. This is where I'm done in. When I was so close, I could have continued on and advanced this way and traded time for space and let that small force do what it wanted over there. I should have saved the MCV I lost down here, saved the war factory, and then traded space for time up here. And then this force that I had here, and it turned back and had a battle against the forces that turned back here, because he had to protect his base, so he did right. But my forces there should have cut through here. The tank should have moved through so the flame towers miss, and then my infantry just destroy them one by one, the buildings, while my heavy tanks keep the flame towers busy. And then, you know, I would have won, I'm sure. I know that's a few things that I needed to change, but it's valuable learning, it's valuable experience I'll remember in future. And these kind of games that stretch on, it's into 21 minutes now, they are more difficult, more challenging, and different types of tech start to be used. But it was a good game, it was a good battle, you know, respect to my opponent, I enjoyed this one. So I hope my viewers enjoy it too. Obviously, at this point, it's over. Let's have a look at the cash. My opponent's got 4 grand, 5 grand. He's got six grand now. I've got 3 of it. I've got another thief. Now I've stolen that. So he's got 1.5 and I've got 4 grand now. But I believe it's still too late to be able to use it. That was more of a sort of practice sort of thing. I've got an engineer, he's moving up to capture the refinery and hold it hold it in capture mode, excuse me, so he can't sell it. Now he's checking that with a spy plane. Oh no, he's checked that. Interesting. So yeah, now he's got free reign, he's expanding to my base. But I've got this now in capture mode. My opponent's economy is healthy, so if I can hold on to that, I've got a lifeline of, you know, cash. So I've got these 2 thieves, and now I'm already down to 0 cash. My opponent's got 4. So now I've stolen 2 of it, and I'm resetting the capture bar. So I've got that again, and I've got a V2 on my case, and he's stolen another 2, and then he's killed the engineer with a V2. So that was a nice snipe. But that has actually reminded me, excuse me, pardon me, that was the chokehold tactic. There's another steal, so I've got 3 grand and my opponent's got 5, but he's got an economy and I haven't, so those thieves are invaluable. But another point that's just reminded me about the chokehold tactic is that when you're using an engineer and you can capture the enemy refinery, refineries were changed so that your units can move through them. Certain squares you can move through it so that the harvesters, the ore trucks, don't get stuck and jammed up and things. So like the repair bay, the service depot, sorry, like the service depot, the refinery, you can move through it. So when you get your engineer and you tell it to capture the enemy refinery, say here, get your engineer and move it so it's about there, look, somewhere in this square some point, and it might only be able to fit, you know, up here or in this corner, but if you move it and say order the engineer to move through the refinery, like there, say, and press S when he's inside it, and he'll stop, and that'll hide your engineer from the enemy viewpoint. So it'll just help make your chokehold tactic more effective, because your engineer's inside it and he might not be able to find it to target it and attack it. Now if he gets a unit near it and presses A move, it will automatically kill your engineer, but if you protect it with some basic units and you've overrun it anyway, hiding your engineer inside the enemy refinery, that actually, it'll help protect it from enemy aircraft and things that are going to strike back to stop it. The easiest way to stop an engineer capturing a refinery is to shoot it with a yak or a helicopter or an artillery piece. So if you put it inside that refinery where they can't see it to target, then, you know, it's all the better. And they can A-move over that refinery and attack your engineer, but if they A-move, you can put a unit in the way and they'll hit that first. So, you know, it's all an extra way of making the chokehold more effective. But yeah, when you're using it, get your engineer and hold Alt, because it's force move and it'll force it to move, so, and just move it inside the refinery. And if you can't do that, then move it through the refinery from one side and press S when it's in the middle, and he'll stop while he's hidden or inside the refinery. Just an extra way of protecting it. And if you want to have thieves or spies, wait a short while before they infiltrate, because you want to let your enemy build up some more cash, then put them inside the refinery hidden as well. And like I say, put a tank or two around them so if they move aircraft over the refinery to kill your engineer and thieves or spies, then they'll hit the tanks first if they move. And if they can't see your guy to actually snipe him, it makes it more difficult for them. So it's just an extra little part of the chokehold tactic. You can actually place your engineer and thieves inside the enemy refinery to help hide them. And when you're attacking an enemy base, if you're getting attacked by the enemy defenders, base defences or artillery tanks, whatever, and you're attacking an enemy service depot, you can put your units on the service depot or move them over it, and it draws enemy fire. So it works especially well with flame towers and V2s and things like that. If I was to move a tank over the service depot, the enemy base defences would automatically fire, and the splash damage damages the service depot. So that can help you destroy an enemy service depot when you say if it's the last few units you've got in an attack, or you've got very few units left, or or you might not be able to destroy the service depot before the enemy defenders destroy you. Put your units, your tanks or whatever on the service depot, or move them over it to draw a bit of enemy fire, and it will damage the service depot as well. And you can do the same with refineries. Move your units past them or through them while the enemy are targeting you, and it will cause a bit of damage to their assets as well. So there's a few assets you can actually move your units through, and you can take advantage of that. But there we go, I've finally surrendered, and the final score was 1708 to 1472, so it was a high score game. But yeah, my opponent said nice use of thieves. I says, yeah, I like thieves. They are one of my favourite units, thieves and V2s. But yeah, my opponent deserved to win. I would have liked to have finished it off and won it myself, and actually finished it with this bit here, and not lost my MCV and War Factory here so easily. I wish I hadn't made those mistakes, but you can't win them all, and that was still a good game. It's well worth a post, so I'm going to post this one. And like I say, respect to my opponent, he fought very well, so good for him. But there's the army graph, and I always say so to my opponent. I always say well played. I put nicely done, well played, and all that, and he responded with really nice use of thieves, so it's fine, it's all good, and well played to him. But there's the army graph chart, and you see we both sort of had a bit of a dip as we were struggling, but then mine continued to dip while my opponent's rose steadily, and mine had a sharp drop at the end. The earnings graph, yeah, we both, I was up and down there, look. Very erratic, but my opponent did have a bit of a dip, and then a steady straight stable earnings level at a low level, and then he had a big increase and stayed at that stable level, look. So these here are probably my thief grabs, where I raided his economy a few times, that spike at the end. So it's some interesting combat and earning charts. But his finishing army, nearly 100 nearly 100 rifle. Is that 50 or 94? I can't even tell. I thought it was not saying 94, but it might be 50. Yeah, probably. And then 24 rockets, 5 flamers. He's got 4 APCs, 13 tanks. So yeah, he had a reasonable little force considering how difficult it was. But here we are, look, this was earning for him all the way through that game, this little oil derrick here. And mine were earning for a fair while, but I think that had a bit of an impact, along with those few little errors I made that I didn't need to. Losing all those ore trucks in one raid, that's pathetic. I shouldn't really have let that happen, but I was just trying to finish it, and I shouldn't have gone all in so much. Not good. But the combat, let's have a look. My opponent killed 529, I killed 364. He got almost, well, I got 109,000 of destroyed assets. He got 149,500. So he did, not quite, but about, well, I don't know what the percentage is. It's not quite, about a third extra in destroyed assets. I killed 39 buildings. He killed 38. So I did have the edge in buildings, but that's, you know, that's not important. Support powers. He's built an Iron Curtain, and he's got his parabombs, paratroopers, and spy planes that he made use of. I used the paratroopers and spy plane a little, but not to great effect. Our economy tab, he earned 225,000. I earned 160,000, so what I had to work with, I was struggling big time, and he's got 10 ore trucks to finish with. Right, his finishing cash is 11 grand. It was, yeah, I was fighting under conditions where, you know, I couldn't have won after those few mistakes I didn't need to make. I had my chance, and I blew it. But it was a good game, and I really enjoyed it. So I hope my viewers do as well. Yeah, a good one. Nearly a half an hour game, that one, I think. So, until next time, I hope you all enjoy the posts, and I'll catch you all soon. Thank you very much.
Battle control terminated.